Howdy, 8th grade. Today we're going to look at how to solve absolute value inequalities. It is something we've done before, but now we're going to solve some harder ones. So, quick reminder, anytime we see absolute values in an equation, or an inequality, as it were, there's a few things we want to do. The first step is we want to isolate our absolute value. Because if it's not all alone, there's not much we can do with it. Absolute value. So the first thing we want to do is to isolate our absolute value, get it all alone. After we get it all alone, what we want to try to do is that we want to split the equation into two equations. So we're just going to write it twice, and we're going to flip the sign of one of our equations. For inequalities, this means also flip our inequality. So that means if we start off less than, we go greater than. If we start off greater than, we go less than. And after that, we're going to solve our two inequalities. And just like that, we'll be done. So let's look at a couple of examples. I'm going to start with example 1. There we go. Let's try 2 absolute value of x plus 3 is less than 11. So the first thing I want to do is I'm always going to try to isolate my absolute value. So I want to get this absolute value right here by itself. Now I'm going to do that. I'm going to start by subtracting 3. I'll get 2 absolute value of x is less than 8. I need to divide by 2. And I'll end up with absolute value of x is less than 4. So now I'm going to split my equation in half. I'm going to write it twice. I get absolute value of x is less than 4. And I need to make one of them negative and flip its sign. So I'm going to pick this one right here. I'm going to make it negative and flip the sign. So I get x is greater than negative 4. And this one, just take out the absolute value, and I get x is less than 4. And that right there is going to be my answer. So we will keep on going here and try maybe a bit of a harder problem. And we will do, here's one I'd like to do. It's going to be absolute value of x over 3 minus 2 plus 12 is less than or equal to 19. So the first thing I want to do is to still get my absolute value by itself. And so to do that, I'm going to get rid of this 12 by subtracting it. I'll end up with x over 3 minus 2 is less than or equal to 7. There we go. So what I want to do now is to split this in half. So I need to write it again. X over 3 minus 2 is less than or equal to 7. And now I can flip the sign of one and keep the sign of the other. So the one that I'm going to keep is going to be the second one still. X over 3 minus 2 is less than or equal to 7. And then I'm going to change the one over here, and I'll get x minus 3, or x over 3 minus 2. I'm going to change the sign so it is greater than or equal to. And then I'm going to make this negative 7. Looking on with this, I need to get x by itself in this equation, so I'm going to add 2 to both sides, and I'll get x over 3 is greater than or equal to negative 7 plus 2 is going to be 5. Sorry, negative 5. And on this side, now all I have to do is to multiply both sides by 3 times 3. Let me draw it as a dot instead of an x, make it a little less confusing. And x divided by 3 times 3 is just x. Greater than or equal to negative 15. Over on this side, I'm going to do something very similar. Get rid of the 2 by adding it. X over 3 equals, it's less than or equal to 9. And then I'm going to multiply both sides by 3. And I'll end up with x is less than or equal to 27. And those two are going to be my solution. Just like that, I'm done. So this is same things we've been doing in the past. Just have to remember all of our steps there, making sure that we are doing what we need to do as far as isolating our absolute value, making sure that anytime we multiply or divide by a negative, we flip the sign, and we should be all good to go. So I will see you all tomorrow. Have a great day.